Susan W. in Bensalem. We've done work for her in the past. Scope of work here is going to be overall cleanup, bush trimming, weeding, mulch install, pretty general cleanup. She's putting the house up for sale the end of the month, wants to get the work done as close to the week, I think she said the week of the 29th of August. So we'll plan to do it close to then. So starting up front again, kind of use your general. We walk the whole thing. I walk with the wife. But if you're seeing something that you think maybe even a touch up would look better, go ahead and touch something up. But so anyway, up front here, so I'm going to give her line items for trimming and pruning, bed weeding and bed cleanup, or weeding, I'll put it as something like that. Probably ivy trimming, probably bed cutout as a separate one, and then just mulch where the existing mulch is already. So see what she accepts from the jobs. So starting up front, so all the hostas can stay. These ferns right here, we're gonna yank all them out. So pull all them out. It's just getting kind of crowded in here. And then obviously the viney weeds growing on the hostas, we're gonna pull them out, clean up the beds, weed them out. You know, you got some flowers in here, so obviously leave them be. All these ferns in here, ferns in there, again, viney weeds, yank all them out, clean up the beds, fresh mulch. Moving over to here, so kind of just a general cleanup. All the viney weeds kind of pull out of the Pachysandra, or Vinca, or whatever this ground cover's called, I forget, but pull all the little viney stuff out, viney stuff off. She wants just the branches trimmed here, just so they don't hit you in the face, nothing too dramatic. One quick note before I forget, this should be sprayed and taken care of before we come out, but just double check it when you come out. It's pretty small, but there's a small like hornet's nest right here. It's about the size of two baseballs. So she said it's going to get sprayed and taken care of before we come out, but I would just double check it just to be on the safe side. Again, it's pretty small, but anyway, just be mindful of it. Over here, just kind of a general cleanup. All the ground cover can stay. I would just take a string trimmer and try to give it a little bit of a manicured look. Kind of blow the beds out a little bit. There's some sticks and debris in here. This grassy stuff, this viney stuff we want out, but a lot of the ground cover obviously can stay. You got some vinies on the bushes, pull them off. Light trim and shape of the bushes here. Really just this one. I wouldn't even worry about the other ones too much. A couple tall weedy spokes in here to clear out, and then this branch snip. And then any vines you see kind of, or weeds popping up in the ivy, just smack them out real quick. Just looking at this now, they didn't say anything about right here, but they might add to just trim that so that they can park a car there, or at least not have to duck. But we didn't talk about it. So over here, all you're gonna do with the ivy, it looks pretty good actually. It's pretty like manicured and nice. I don't see a lot of weeds poking up, but what we can do is just take a string trimmer and flip it and do like an edging deal around the whole perimeter of both of them, just to light. It looks pretty good already, but just to touch it up. These spokes coming off the tree, we're gonna smack them out. I won't even walk over there because it's pretty straightforward, but, or maybe I will, but the this bed, just gonna fresh mulch it, and then weeds and vines, just kind of yanking them out. You'll kind of see them dispersed throughout. There's some here, yank. These like daylilies or whatever, you can kind of cut whatever the yellowy dead stuff that you can. Keep whatever green, or just trim the whole thing back a little bit, it's fine. All this stuff yank out. Got a bunch of weeds over here, yank all them out. And then over here, like all the yellowy dead, kind of cut out. Use your judgment. She wasn't super picky over here. And there's a bunch of like viney weeds. All these viney weeds, try to yank them out and then throw in some fresh mulch. In the front here, I'm going to separate line item it as bed cutout, but regardless, we'll do the cleanup. I'll put that in with like bed cleanup. So we're just going to blow the whole area of leaves and debris, string trim any weeds, pick up those down branches. And then if she goes for the bed cutout, just going to have to create a bed. I wouldn't go crazy. Like, again, this is for sale, so they're just looking to make it look good for the sale. So you can kind of cut a little bit of an edge. You don't got to go bonkers with it. Go kind of thick with the mulch, and then I would just kind of create a mulch bed. Use your judgment. Maybe like kind of like a wavy thing that wraps around this tree and then lands somewhere in the corner. Again, use your judgment on that. Exactly how to line it up. She wasn't super particular, but And I would go kind of heavy with the mulch because there's nothing there, obviously. Over here, just gonna clean up the beds of any weeds, all these little clovery weeds here, bust them out, some weeds under there. Rose bush, I would just cut out any dead stuff, and then fresh black mulch over here. All this like weedy stuff, maybe some nutsedge in here. To try to pull that at the root the best you can. The nutsedge, don't smack that with a string trimmer, it'll come back very quickly before they would even sell probably. The plants you can leave alone, but everything else clear out and then mulch it. Back here, so the whole back of the property, you're not doing anything back there, don't worry about it. We're just gonna focus on these kind of like beds up here. So a little bit of mulch in here, some weeds. Everything that you see with this little fuzzy tail thing, this weed, yank all that out. Anywhere where you see that in this bed, any weeds, which is a lot of this, there is some plants in here that can stay, like obviously these can stay, but all these weeds, yank them out. Fresh mulch. Don't need to do anything with the weeping tree here, you can leave that alone. The walkway here, I would just take a string trimmer, or you probably string trimmer will do it, and just kind of cut these lilies, these plants back because they're just sagging onto the walkway, just to kind of clear the walkway. Obviously get these fuzzy weeds like we talked about, all of them out of here. There's some bigger ones and then there's smaller ones. Try to get all of them out the best you can. Kind of use your judgment in this whole general area. Like all hostas can stay, but you'll see there's like these weeds all over, these little viney kind of weeds. Yank them off, get them cleaned up. Fresh mulch back here, haul that away for her. Kind of work in there the best you can. It's mostly hostas, but there is some weeds and such, just clear them out. Moving over to here, this ground cover looks pretty good. There's a couple spots like for the bird feeder, all the stuff that got dropped here, we want to yank that out. All that grassy stuff growing there, we want to yank that out. And then I told her we'll take a string trimmer, edge out here so the pavers are nice and clean and there's no growth on them, and then kind of lightly go over everything and not everything, but manicure any spots that are like sticking up, or where you see like a weed here, just smack it with a string trimmer. Weed here, smack it with a string trimmer. And anywhere else where you see that, we want that nice flush look, manicured look over here. It's not terrible. Pretty much a string trimmer will do the bulk of this. Maybe hand pull some of that stuff just so it doesn't come back too quickly. Over here I would just kind of quickly, weed there, just string trim it, it's fine. Obviously edge all this that we just talked about. And then moving over to here to kind of wrap it up. So over here, this funky thing, just cut that out entirely. We're gonna string trim all the vines and ground cover that's coming over this retaining wall. Cut it all the way back till the end of the brick here. So you'll see it's a good bit. It's like a foot or something. So you want that retaining wall exposed and looking good, and all these vines to be gone from this area. String trim all this out. And then you could do like a light blow, some of the pine cones and crap in here, and then throw down some fresh mulch in there. I guess a pretty good blow this whole area, and then fresh mulch in here. And then kind of to finish it out, you got some viney weeds growing over here. Hostas all stay, clean up the beds, cut all that out, fresh mulch. Ferns, again, I would yank them out. Ferns I would yank out. This big weed, pull out. Any weeds in here, yank out, leave this ground cover, that darker green. And then lastly, and I would probably just mulch this whole area here as well. And then lastly, this area, this arch, I would just trim that back maybe like a foot up, because right now it's probably like 5'5" or something. You kind of have to duck to walk through it. So just a nice like trim of the arch so you don't have to duck as much. And that's it.